Hi, welcome back to the Word in the Raw. God willing, we will get through this video because the last two videos I've tried to do, I was cut off in mid-video because of uh, issues with my device being full. So then I erased a bunch of videos and then tried to make another one. Still, it said my device was full. So then I stopped my phone and restarted it. So it seems like we're still going. So I think we're in the clear. But if this video ends abruptly, hopefully at the tail end, but if it ends abruptly, my apologies ahead of time. Anyway, my name is still Jen, and I'm still reading the Bible on a daily basis with you. And we call ourselves the Word in the Raw because it's unfiltered and unprocessed, keeping it real, just the unadulterated Word. And then we just talk about it. Let me tell you what I'm not, because I was about to say I don't want to sound preachy. But let me tell you what I'm not. I'm not a preacher or a theologian, not a pastor, a reverend, a prophet, ordained minister, a doctor, apostle, Bible scholar, or spiritual guru. I'm none of that. I'm just a girl who still wants to get into the Word on a daily basis. And I'm really glad that we're past 1 minute, 35 seconds. I just thought I'd let you know that. And raw, like I said, means unadulterated, unfiltered, just keeping it absolutely real. And on this note, we're going to go into chapter 11. Congratulations, we made it to chapter 11 of John's Gospel. And we're going to be talking about the death of Lazarus. So let's just dive right in. Now, a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus now lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped his feet with her hair. That's described in another part of the Bible. We'll get to that. So the sisters sent word to Jesus, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When he heard this, Jesus said, "This sickness will not end in death. No, it is for God's glory, so that God's Son may be glorified through it." Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. And then he said to his disciples, "Let's go back to Judea." "But Rabbi," they said, "a short while ago the Jews there tried to stone you, and yet you're going back?" And Jesus answered, "There are not 12 hours of daylight. Anyone who walks in daytime will not stumble, for they see by this world's light. It is when a person walks at night that they stumble, for they have no light." I was wondering why he even said that. Like what was he really meaning? And I looked in the notes, and basically it just said that, you know, time was short. 12 hours was enough time for what must be done, but there was no time to waste. So I guess he wanted to travel to Judea while it was daytime. I mean, it took a million years to get everywhere back then because people walked. So if they weren't on a horse or donkey, they walked. So maybe the daylight hours. I don't know. If someone knows, put it on down there in the comment section so I know. Verse 11. After he had said this, he went on to tell them, "Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up." And his disciples reply, "Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better." Jesus had been speaking of his death, but his disciples thought he meant natural sleep. So then he told them plainly, "Lazarus is dead. And for your sake, I am glad I was not there so that you may believe. But let us go to him." Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, "Let us all go that we may die with him." I guess Thomas said that out of his dedication. This is the same Thomas as doubting Thomas. who doubted that Jesus rose from the dead, but he was capable of a lot of faith too, because I guess he was willing to die and be rose again with Lazarus. I don't know. If anyone knows, put it on down there. Thanks. So we'll go on with 17, verse 17. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in a tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them because of the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. It's interesting. I'm just going to stop there for a second because it's kind of interesting how, like, we have, ultimate faith that, as much as a mustard seed of faith. And that Martha completely had faith in the Lord, recognized him as the Messiah, seen him do many things. Yet she still has enough human doubt in her mind that she still had that doubt. Like, if you'd been here, he wouldn't have died. As if Jesus couldn't tell from afar that he was dead. As if Jesus doesn't know everything there is to know through the Father. And it's just our human frailty, our human lack of faith. Anyway, as we go on, Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. And Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? This one's worth repeating. I'm going to repeat it again, then I'm going to say something. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? That's like heavy stuff. And sometimes I'll talk to unbelievers or people that believe that all faith come to one point. And I ask them, well, okay, if you believe that Jesus is the way, but also other faiths, other religions, what did he mean by, I am the way and the truth and the life? No one comes to the Father but by me. And sometimes the answer I'll get from either a non-believer or a pan-believer, let's put it that way, will be like, well, he was speaking in, symbolic terms, like when he meant I am, he meant like my way and my teaching is the way, the truth, and the life. And no one can come to the Father but through my teachings. That's not what he's saying, though, here. He's saying, I am the resurrection and the life. I think in those days, the language that they were speaking, they had a difference between I and we. Here, and in every translation I've seen, it says, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. And then he has an appropriate question at the end of it. Do you believe this? Let's move on to verse 27. Yes, Lord, she replied, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is to come into the world. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house comforting her noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been there, my brother would not have died. There we go again. Lord. Anyway, let's go. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. And Jesus wept. This always astounded me, that part of this, of scripture, that Jesus, you and I pretty much know what's going to happen next. I mean, Jesus is going to raise Lazarus from the dead. Sorry to be a spoiler to those who are new to this story, but that's what's going to happen, okay? And Jesus knew that was going to happen, actually planned on doing this. Yet, he weeps too, as if he's lost someone. That astounds me. What it tells me personally is that is the degree that he became a human being. He wanted to become human 100%, down to our emotions and our grief. That's pretty something. So he was willing to share that grief with them, even though he knew he was going to raise them from the dead. That's something. Anyway,